is this?
Everybody poops sometimes.
Give us this.
Wake up, sweetness.
Your first time should be more than special.
I'm in, Savannah said. Good Lord, Gemma. When a man and a woman, in this case, really, really love each other, what happens is they fuck.
Ooh, hello?
Oh, dang it, I lost my fish. This next word almost sounds like Quidditch. Quidditch milade Diana Agosiagath an Fiedian.
As much as I love fucking you, sweetness. We stared into each other's eyes whilst I moaned in ecstasy.
Having consumed half of the bourbon, I keep saying bourbon. You know, every time I mess up on a word, Stunt Mama just shows up.
She had her seductive smile on her lips.
I said we couldn't have sex. I didn't say anything about everything else.
Ew, happy to help, biatch. You are the spark of light and the vastness of my night. His note, like a finality to a beautiful, breathtaking song. Hi. Hello. Hi, Stunt Mama's mama. Congrats on redeeming first place. I am little because I don't feel that great. And I was like, well, I could go off camera. But then I thought to myself, what if I just made myself really small? And that way you can still see me, but you can't see the ugliness that is my sickness. Yeah. So that's the story there. Oh, and there's an ad starting as well. Yeah, you know, I felt pretty good this morning. I felt great this morning. But then, as the day went on, it just got worse and worse and worse. To the point where by 3 o'clock, I was like, nope. I'm done with all my meetings that are scheduled, at least. I am grabbing my blanket and peacing out. So I took a nap for a little while. Yeah. I don't know. Just my body needs more rest, I guess. I couldn't tell you. Couldn't tell you. But there was no way I wasn't gonna not stream, you know. My throat, my voice is okay, which is a plus. If my voice was affected, then yes, I may have had to have canceled, which is really unfortunate. Okay, you know what, Twitch ad thing, you make no sense. A minute ago, you said ads are starting and you gave me a countdown. Now you're saying that the ads just started. I'm so confused. This platform drives me up the freaking wall sometimes. I swear. I don't know what to do about it. I mean, other than manipulating the frequency of the ads, I am in no control. Whatever. So I picked a very difficult puzzle today. Basically because the ongoing battle between Super, Stunt, yeah. And I know Mitchell likes to do the puzzles too, so this probably won't be a challenge for Mitchell, but we'll see. But it's a very pretty picture. You know, very pretty. But it's also 600 pieces. So there's a lot of green. Like, there's not a lot of color variations. The sky is definitely its own thing, which the sky in this picture looks phenomenal. I can't lie about that. Looks so cool. But as far as color choices, there's not a lot of variance. The little hut there is similar to the sky. Thankfully, it's a different texture. But then you've got a ton of the green grass with the yellow poppies. And then some wood boards. So there's not much to go on, really. So, you know, good luck. That's all I gotta say. Good luck. Anyway. Stump Mama's Mama, how is your recovery? I haven't asked you in a while, and I feel bad about that. Are you without aid now? Are you free to run around on your own, so to speak? Whether you run or not's your choice, of course. You may choose to simply walk. Perhaps a light jog. But hopefully you're back to... I'm basically recovered. I did Beat Saber on Tuesday. Well, heck. I mean, that's like the ultimate test, right? If you can do Beat Saber, you're good. And there's a Rexter here. What's up, man? How you doing? It's good to see you, sir. It is for me? Well, yeah, it would be for me too. Sheesh. So I've decided that it's time to replace the microphone. The downside of this replacement is that the next evolution is XLR. There's not really any other USB microphones that are better than what I have. Fellow drummer, that's right, drummer from another mother. So I have to go to XLR instead of USB. USB has been great, it's easy. You just plug it in and go, you know, minus some extra tweaks in the software and whatnot, but the setup is pretty straightforward. With XLR, you need an extra system. Thankfully, I found the mixer. I found one that's relatively cheap. Hopefully that doesn't bite me in the butt, because you pay for what you get in these types of, well, in any market really, but especially with technology, you pay for what you get. So I found one that's like $50. I've seen some reviews on it. I've watched some videos. You know, I've done what research I can do. And would I like the mixer that costs $700? Of course I would. But I don't think that that's going to help me. It's just fancier, way fancier. But when you go from 700 to 50, that's a huge difference in price, and therefore I'm worried that the outcome might not be as good. But I think it's just going to be a learning curve, that's all. I'm not too concerned. I just have to try it. But the microphone that I want to go to is also by Logitech, but it's the Blue Sono. I believe that's what it's called. Let me actually just do a little check here to make sure I'm talking about the right thing. No, I don't. No, that's not what I wanted. Click on this. Click on this. Yeah, Blue Sono dynamic microphone. So the downside is it's like between $300 and $400 depending on where you can get it. That's the difficult part. The Shure SM7B Vocal Dynamic XLR microphone broadcast. It comes with a mixer for $600. Yeah, so I'll be spending close to the same thing. I like the Logitech stuff, though. There's other things that I can do with Logitech software that I can't do with other microphones. So I want to stick to the Logitech build because of that reason. But I've heard great things about the Shure mics. Absolutely. There's nothing wrong with the Shure microphone. The Logitech is going to be easier for me to stay with or use, I guess you could say. So, anyway, that's all I got for that. So I have a new mic equipment goal in the corner. I'll need a stand for it that's different than the one I've got now. I need XLR cables, need the mic itself. I'm putting that up there as a reminder for myself. So like when I do my user tests, which pay money, that is going to go towards the microphone fund. Because originally I was going to wait until we moved, but with the way that this microphone has been acting, I don't know if I'll have that ability to wait. So, yeah. All right. That's enough blabbing from me. Hey, look, now I'm tiny on this screen too. Hey. I'm also really freaking hot. I've been having hot and cold flashes, and those suck. But I still have my hot tea in front of me because I need that for my throat. So at some point, I may have to strip off the shirt. Okay. Alright. Yeah, that's right. I'm gonna take it off. I'm gonna take it all off. No, I'm just kidding. Don't make this weird. Don't go there. Logitech is a great German brand. I have most of their stuff in my company, and customers are always happy when they buy them. Yeah, I'm not surprised. What's your company though, Rexter? I guess I didn't realize. I mean, I knew you had a business. I just wasn't sure what it was. Or is. Present tense, not past. Also, chapter 23, which is where we're starting tonight, is on page 213. And the title is interesting because it says Deja Vu all over again. Which is what deja vu means. You have two businesses. Okay, I am learning more and more. Well, both, I guess. What business are you in, sir? What business do you conduct? And good for you, by the way. One business is hard enough. But you're rocking two. That's awesome. And don't forget, it's Fourth Wing night. So we'll be in Discord after stream. You own a computer company, hardware, software, and a truck lift company for off-roads. Huh. Okay, maybe I did know about the computer company. I just didn't know what you did within the computer company, or like had offered, all that good stuff. But the truck lift for off-roads I did not know about, so that's cool. Well, good for you, man. That's awesome. Way to get that cheddar. You know? Bring in the bacon. Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, chapter 23 is about to begin. Again, the title is Deja Vu All Over Again. We are within 80-ish pages of completing this book. It's very exciting. I'm very curious as to how it's going to end. Here we go. This night, my dreams are of Jade and her exquisite body lying next to mine. A significant improvement over the distressing images that normally stampede through my head each night. Computer company 2.5 and truck lifting 1 year, 2 months. Ooh, awesome. So you're still grinding, or at least might be still grinding. Sometimes businesses can take a minute to get off and just launch on their own kind of thing. But either way, I'm babbling. I'm happy for you. I really am. I think that's so cool. But soon, my thoughts segue to Rubio and Alvera's heads exploding and blood splashing on me. The only way to stop this nightmare is to get my ass out of bed. My watch shows 6:30, and my bladder's calling for relief anyway. Hi, stunt mama. Excuse me, did you know you're tiny? Yes, I did. I don't feel great, so you get to see the small version of me that way you can't tell. I feel like I should have a chipmunk voice though, because I'm so small. Enjoy your puzzle, by the way. I made it difficult just for you. As I said I would. My watch shows 6:30 and my bladder is calling for relief anyway. The bloodied pants are still soaking in the sink. The dark red blood has turned light purple. I hope it's gonna wash out. It's Sunday, a perfect day to wash clothes. At 9, I hustle down to Jules' door. As always, he greets me in his robe. Oh no, are you going to be up for reading tonight? Do you hear me reading right now? If you do, then that answers your question. Do you know what time it is? Yes, of course I'm gonna read Fourth Wing. Are you kidding me? I can't wait. Sorry, Jules, I thought you'd be up. As you can see, I am. Then why are you harassing me? He grins wide. It's what I do best, Billy. I was hoping to wash these clothes. I wondered how long you'd be recycling underwear and socks. Are you going to chew on my ass or show me how to use the machines? Where's your soap? I don't have any. Come on, you can use mine. I trust you slept well. I did, Jules. Thank you. Yeah, considering how late your company stayed. Mind your own business, old man. I'm not too old to start now, son. Jules' basement is dark and musty, with half a dozen dust-covered boxes piled up in the corner. You saving canned goods? Years of my old military stuff. Don't know why I keep it. From when you opened the Julius Summers Military Museum. With the Marine Band in attendance, I'm sure. Okay, pay attention. Never mix these black socks with colors. Hey, Stunt Papa. What's up? Good to see you. That much I know, Jules. He provides a quick tutorial on the workings of the washer, but none of it sticks. It'll take a second lesson for sure. He takes pity on me and gets this load going. Come on down in about 30 minutes, William. I'll show you how to use the dryer. The trip to Jules' dark, dank basement turns out to be the highlight of an otherwise dull Sunday. After finishing the laundry, I sit watching poorly written, directed, and badly performed TV series. I want to call Jade, but the idiot that I am, I neglected to get her number. It's Sunday. I could call the office and it'll go to her cell. No. Don't. She'll think you're a lovesick schoolboy. I'll go for a walk. Or maybe not, because it's cold out there. With nothing further on my dance card, I opt for a nap. When I awake at 6, my mood is in the shitter. For the love of me, I still can't get Chernov's cold-blooded, maniacal killing of Alvira and Rubio out of my head. What I need is company, and Jules is the only human within range. He answers the door in his robe. It's only 6:30. Going to bed? Hey, Super. What's up? And let the fight begin. The puzzle's all yours. What's wrong with being comfortable? What's up? I'm cooking. Good for you, William. I feel like company. Are you inviting me? Yes. What's on the menu? Ham steak. Where did you come across a ham steak? At the grocery store, like everyone else in search of a ham steak, Jules? Bring that extra key you offered. 15 minutes. I'm in the middle of frying the ham when Jules shows up waving a keychain with 2 keys dangling from it. Can't imagine what the lady sees in you, William. Good looks, charm, charisma, and don't oversell it, Mr. Russell. Sit. Dinner's almost ready. By the way, you have a new neighbor across the hall. He moved in around 5. Does he have a name? It's, damn it, what's his name? I asked you first, Jules. He scratches the back of his head. Shit, I can't remember. First signs of dementia, old man. Hold on, it'll come to me. Have a shot of bourbon. It's good for a failing memory. Then pour. I pour 2 shots and set them on the table. Food's ready. Ham, steak, stale brown bread, and a side of mushy oatmeal. And all the water you can drink. What? Never mind, Jules. Let's eat. Food must be edible because Jules has gone silent. That is, until he gets the eureka look on his face and his right hand shoots up over his head. Henley. What? The new guy across the hall. His name is, Henley. Chris Henley. Mama House Gaming. Hi there. Jesus, what? It can't be. It seems like a nice fella. Could it be Chris? No. No way. Probably some guy with the same name. As soon as Jewel leaves, I'll slip across the hall and check him out for myself. Now, I can't wait for Jules to leave. I count the minutes until he finishes eating. Was there something else on your mind, William? Or were you trying to impress me with your culinary skills? I don't sound surprised at all. I was just saying hi. Hi. Neither, Jules. In that case, I'll thank you for the meal and the bourbon. Time for me to get back in my robe. My best to the Asian lady. Jade. Yeah, Jade. You're one lucky son of a bitch. Put your tongue back in your mouth, old man. When I hear Jules' apartment door close, I slip out and listen at the door across from mine. If this turns out not to be Chris, I'll introduce myself and welcome whoever it is to the building. At the door across from mine, I hear the TV. I knock, but there's no answer. I knock louder. The TV goes off. Yeah, who's there? Your neighbor across the hall? I just wanted to say hello and welcome you to the building. The door swings open. Hot damn if it's not Chris Henley in the flesh. The look on his face is pure astonishment, as if he just came face to face with the ghost of Billy Russell. My reaction is the same. Jesus! Billy Russell! Chris Henley! What in God's name are you doing here? I could ask you the same, Chris. We fly into each other's arms like long-lost siblings separated at birth. I lived 3 feet away through that open door. No way. Come on, I'll show you. Grabbing his arm, I drag him into my place. Welcome to Chateau Russell. Rio. Hi, Rio. Thank you so much for raiding me. How the heck are you? Let me punch some stuff on the keyboard here. What were you up to? Baldur's Gate 3, of course. I think I saw you playing that earlier, actually. How was Baldur's Gate? Any romancing going on? Rio, it's so good to see you. Sorry I'm so small, a little tiny speck on the screen. Not feeling 100%, but I still wanted to be on camera just enough. Hi. Thank you so much for raiding. I hope you had a fantastic stream. It's like almost 8:30 for you, and I'm gonna guess that you need to get some food, because you probably haven't eaten yet, if I know you. And I feel like I know you enough to know that you haven't done that. So I'm gonna encourage you to go eat right now. Maybe that was your plan anyway. Not good, but trying to get better. Yes, been romancing Gale. BG3 is going fantastic. Well, I'm sorry that you're not, you know, feeling that great. I know it's been pretty rough for you the past few days. I see your Discord updates. I hope it gets a little easier for you. I really do. You deserve that. And yes, you need to try and get something to eat. See? It's like I know. It's like I know. Well, thank you. Feel free to listen in the background while you eat, or lurk, or disappear, whatever is easiest and makes sense for you. Thank you for bringing your folks over. We're just getting started into our reading tonight, so you haven't missed anything too crazy. Alright, we're on page 216. Oh, that's right, yeah. He grabs Chris and then pulls him across the hall to show him his place. Welcome to Chateau Russell. He sniffs the air. Oh, this place smells better than mine. That's another story for another time. What happened, Chris? Where'd you go after you were processed? You're not gonna believe this. I expected we'd meet up on the bus. Maybe spend time at the airport before going our separate ways. I was hoping the same. The guy processing me gets this daunting look on his face when he pulls up my file. It turned out my assignment check-in wasn't for the next day. It was for tomorrow. A typo, it seems. And Colonel Maxend. The guy had no authority to change my orders, so he completes the paperwork. Another guy shoots a GPS tracker in my arm, and that's when I heard shots being fired. The guy told me not to move until he received an all clear. I never did learn what the ruckus was about. I saw the whole thing. The prisoner made a run for it, and they shot and killed him. But what happened to you? Well, because my check-in date was wrong, they bunked me on the base until this morning. And you sat around for a week? I hooked up with this delicious-looking, sex-starved, unattached staff sergeant lady who worked in the base administration. Told you I'd get laid. Several times, to be exact. I never doubted it. Hi, Gemma. I have my tea right here. Which, by the way, sad but funny story. Well, it wasn't funny at the time. I was making my tea for stream like I normally do. I went to pick it up off the counter, and butterfingered the whole thing, and my entire cup of freshly brewed, boiling hot water tea went all over the floor. I had to like dive out of the way so I didn't burn myself. It was fantastic. So yeah, that was my excitement for the evening. I never doubted it. Come, sit, make yourself at home. Retrieving 2 glasses and the bourbon from its hiding place, I joined Chris on the sofa, poured 2 shots, and set the bottle on the coffee table. Never in a million years did I imagine we'd end up in the same city in the same boarding house. Glad you're okay. Stunt will pick it up already. I'm doing all the work. And it started. Yeah, I'm okay. If I hadn't been wearing socks at the time, my feet might have got a little burned, but the socks took the brunt of the hot. But yeah, I'm all good. You hate days like that? Absolutely. At least it was towards the end of the day and not the beginning of the day. That would have been an omen for sure. It must be kismet, Billy boy. Chris's eyes go to the bottle of bourbon and a quizzical look comes over his face. Where did you get that, Billy? What? The bourbon. A gift from my new employer. Why? I got one too. The same brand. From who? The landlord said the booze and the food in the fridge were from my new employer. That's all I know. Where are you assigned, Chris? A drug enforcement unit? What the hell do I know about drug enforcement? Zip. Nada. By any chance is it Unit 513? Yeah, that's it. Why? With a crooked smile, I'm up on my feet, crossing to the kitchen and reaching into the cabinet where I keep my gun and badge. Grabbing the badge, I march back and hold it up to his face. It appears, Sir Chris, we'll be working together. How weird is that? You're kidding, Billy. They told us a new guy was coming, and you, it seems, are it. Well, fill me in. Best I don't offer a blow-by-blow of what goes on at Unit 513. That'll spook him for sure. He'll learn soon enough from Wilson and Chernov. That's assuming the Colonel hasn't been institutionalized since I saw him sitting in the back of the Humvee looking like he had been given a full body shot of Novocaine. You'll meet first with our immediate supervisor, Lieutenant Frank Wilson. He'll give you the rundown. How much did processing tell you about what goes on in the world these days? The guy told me a lot had changed. They gave me a book to read and... The Red Book? Yeah, haven't opened it yet. Don't bother, Chris, it's all bullshit. Allow me to give you a crash course before you hit the street in the morning. Painting a pretty glum picture, I leave nothing out about the condition of the world we've returned to, at least as much as I know. The look on his face is one of disbelief. Take it slow for a while. It's gonna feel like you landed in a parallel universe. On your way to the precinct tomorrow, You're not going with me? Maybe we shouldn't let on that we know one another? We returned on the same ship, Billy. Surely they'll make the connection. Let's see if they do first. You know how to get there? The landlord gave me directions. On your way in, you'll pass a lot of homeless. Don't engage with them. Tell them you're a cop and they'll leave you alone. And you're gonna want new clothes. There's a store on Broadway. I'll take you there at lunch if you want. Well, sounds like a plan. Can't wait to ditch this brown uniform. Jeez, Billy, I still can't believe we're together again, walking around like free men. As long as we have those GPS trackers in our arms, Chris, we're not free. And that's is chapter 23. Oh boy. So I wonder if Chris, who was his cellmate, if you will, along with many others, I wonder if he and Chris are gonna find a way out. But I find that a little bit hard to believe just because we only have 73 pages left, maybe? I mean, granted, a lot can happen, but based off of the pace of the story, I don't feel like that's going to be the case. This book really feels like a part 1. Like there's something else to come, you know? Stump Mama's Mama, I feel like you've got that same vibe as me when we talked about this last time. I really feel like this is not like there's going to be some weird cliffhanger and then we're not going to know what happens. I could be wrong. We'll find out eventually, but what's that, Super? I think this puzzle is just too hard for a stunt. That's what I'm afraid of. Yeah, I'm afraid of that too. But we'll see. We'll see. Who knows? Chapter 24 is called What's Normal, What's Not? Starting on page 220. Glancing out the front window Monday morning, the sky is clear and the sun's doing its best to shine through the haze of pollution. What's left of the snow is melting. Can you do me a favor? Maybe. Maybe. What's the favor? I'm quite curious now. A little worried. How about you try to actually help me with the edges? Ooh, I need you to move your little head to cover the head of the statue in the background. The statue in the background. Why do I feel like I'm gonna get clipped or something? Wait, which part's the head? Is it right here? I gotta see it on a bigger screen. Or are you talking a little higher up? Like here? Is that what you're talking about? Too much? It's a very peculiar request. I don't even know if this statue has a head. Like, what? I don't think that's a person. I can't really tell. It doesn't? Seriously? Oh my god. Ah, for the love. Okay. What's left of the snow is melting. If I run into Chernov today, I just might knock him on his sick Russian ass. No sooner am I out on the street than a disheveled man and woman with a young girl in tow approaches. The kid looks to be in her early teens. I see it coming. They're gonna hit me up for money, but they spot my badge and gun and scurry off in the opposite direction. Further up forth, another poor soul is weaving and talking to himself. He's got to be high on something or other. This could be trouble. Get rid of him. I push my jacket open so my gun and badge are visible. Whoa, the cop. Am I supposed to be impressed? His speech is slurred. No, other than I can haul you in. That's a hell of an idea. At least they'll feed me and give me a warm place to sleep. Just move on, fella. Yes, sir. I'll do just that since no one gives a shit whether I live or die. He growls like a dog and walks off mumbling to himself. When I arrive at the office, I find Jade and Hank alone in the office with no sign of Gustav, Victor, or Wilson. Good morning, you two. Where are frickin' Frack? Jade grimaces. Off on an assignment for Chernov. Any word on the colonel this morning? I checked. Boris and Chernov took the day off. If he knows more, he's not saying. Hopefully he's resting comfortably in a sanatorium somewhere. Hey, Billy, the walls have ears. Thank you for the timely reminder, Hank. I need a cup of coffee. How about you, Jade? Yeah, sure. Hank, watch the phones. Hank playfully lowers his face within inches of the phone. She means only if it rings, Hank. Oh, right. Got it. In the break room, I fix Jade and me a cup of coffee and join her at the table. I'm still coming to grips with Chernov's unforgivable actions, Jade. For the love of me, I'll never understand our propensity for human-to-human cruelty. Men like Chernov are just what Marseille wants. Cruel men with no filter when it comes to violence and human life. By the way, the new guy is scheduled to show up this morning. He won't be meeting with Chernov according to the note Wilson left me. I wonder why. You know him? Who? The new guy, Chris Henley. She gives me the evil eye. I keep the records, Billy. You both returned on the same ship. But for a blip on the transfer papers, you were supposed to check in together on the same day. I don't know what to say, so I say nothing. It up. On a more suitable subject, Saturday night was, spit it out, big boy. How about an encore? Love to. How about tonight? Great. I'll come bearing pizza and a 6-pack of beer. Oh, Jade, before I forget, digging in my pocket, I pull out the extra set of keys Jules gave me. Your keys to the castle. Wow, we've moved on to step number 2. She smiles and slips the keys into the pocket of her white, hip-hugging jeans. We head back to the office. At 9:45, Wilson shows up and heads for his office without saying a word. He looks pissed. Hank leans to my desk. I think he was off dealing with Chernov's mess. Chris arrives at 9:50. Neither Hank nor I acknowledge him. After her initial remarks, Jade sends him to meet with Wilson. 20 minutes before he and Wilson emerge, Wilson's still wearing a grim expression. He introduces Chris to us, but makes no mention that Chris and I know one another. You'll meet Hines and Argo when they return, Chris. Sit with Jade. She'll get you up to speed. Thanks, Lieutenant. Off Chris goes to get Skinny from Jade. When she finishes, she instructs him to take up residence at my old desk between the interrogation room and the men's room. Lucky him. He gets to wade through those phony case files. Come 11:45, Wilson calls me into his office. His expression is still grim. You're not to let on to the others that you and Henley know one another. Lieutenant, I had no idea he was assigned here until he showed up yesterday. If it had been my decision or the colonel's, the two of you would not have received the same assignment. That was Marseille's call. Come lunchtime, I take Chris to lunch, and then we're going to the clothing store. Did Wilson spell it out for you? I'm not dense, Billy. The message was loud and clear. I took men's lives in war because if we didn't kill them, they'd have killed us. But this is a whole different bag of tricks. What have we gotten ourselves into? A hornet's nest, Chris. A hornet's nest. Well, how do we get out? I'm working on that. We hit the Mexican place around the corner and settle in. I make no mention of what Chernov did to Alvira and Rubio, but I think it's best I level with him about my evolving relationship with Jade on the chance he sees her coming and going at the apartment. Whoa, Billy. You didn't let any grass grow under your feet. She's a stunner. And a warm, wonderful lady. So it's more than sex? Yeah, you could say that. Lucky you, Billy. Come on, let's get you some new clothes in any color other than brown. At 7:30 that evening, Jade arrives with a pizza and a 6-pack of beer. As soon as we've eaten, we move on to more primal nourishment. The dessert course that follows lasts for longer than the pizza. It's 9:30 before we roll out of bed. Jade, I need to level with you. Well, that sounds ominous. The first opportunity I get, I'm out of here. Out of here where, Billy? Mitchell. Hi, Mitchell. Good to see you. Away from here. Away from this madness and the violence. I don't want to leave without you, though. Then I guess we're not going anywhere, Billy. Why? Because the WPF will track us down and execute us on sight. There's always a chance they won't catch us, Jade. That's a chance I'm not willing to take. The world isn't going to stand still for what's happening much longer. We need to hang in there. From your lips to God's ears, assuming she's listening. Yeah, well, maybe this time she is. She's up on her feet, heading for the door. Where are you going? Stay the night. Soon, Billy, soon. Until then, keep your powder dry and stay put. And with that, the lady I now hold dear to my heart leaves me wondering what she might know that I don't, because I don't see the madness ending anytime soon. Once men seize power, they're not likely to go gently into the good night without a fight. And that's assuming it could even come to that anytime soon. I'm tired, but not ready for bed yet. Let's see what TV is spewing at this hour. I punch in channel 23. It's a nature program about a pride of lions on the vast Serengeti. Happy to see there's still some left. As I'm gathering up the empty pizza box and beer cans, the program is interrupted by 4 loud beeps, and the lion program is replaced with a one-word graphic. Bulletin. We interrupt this program to bring you this special report. A short while ago, World Council member Henry Dion was shot to death in New York's Central Park. The pizza box and beer cans slip from my hands to the floor. Jesus, what? A headshot of Dion fills the screen. Commissioner Dion was struck twice in the chest at gathering at approximately 300 supporters at Central Park's Bethesda Fountain. He was pronounced dead at the scene. The attack was caught on by a bystander's phone. Warning: the footage you are about to see contains graphic images. The scene changes to a video of Dion addressing the gathering. He has a bullhorn to his mouth, but there's no audio. Suddenly he jerks back and the bullhorn slips from his hand. He's clutching his chest, recoils a second time, wobbles back 2 more steps and collapses. The video swings wildly, swishing one way, then another, until it comes to rest on Dion's motionless body. Several people rush to his aid. The images blur again, and the cell phone swings to the crowd, scattering for safety. Wait. There in the crowd. Holy shit, if I had blinked, I would have missed it. The announcer returns. We will update this tragic event as further details become available. The Lion program returns. With stunned disbelief, I turn off the TV. Now I'm pacing the room. If I'm right about what I think I saw, no way can I keep it to myself. Gideon. I have to call Gideon. What did I do with his number? Think. Damn it, think. The desk. I tossed it in the drawer. If you make this call, Billy boy, you're committing yourself to who knows what. Think. Damn it, Billy. Think. Make a command decision. Do it. Do it now. I dial Gideon's number, but get cold feet and disconnect before the first ring. Screw it. Let the madness not be mine. Let the human race destroy itself, if that's our destiny. God knows we've been trying to get it right for centuries, only to have failed time and time again. Go to bed, Billy Russell. Pull the covers over your head and shut it all out. This is not your problem to solve. I'm back, under the covers, but sleep eludes me. I can't get the image of Dion lying dead out of my head. At 1:20, unable to sleep, I sit up and stare into the darkness. You know what you should do, Billy? What you have to do. So get your dumbass out of bed and do it. I'm up, dialing Gideon's number again, hoping against hope I'm not making the biggest mistake of my life. 4 rings. 5 rings. Come on, answer the damn phone. An automated voice comes on. Leave a message. I'll get back to you. Jesus, an answering machine? This is 556. Call me as soon as you receive this. I'm pacing the living room, hoping Gideon calls back before I get cold feet again. I go back to bed. An hour goes by and still no call from Gideon. Then the phone rings and it jolts me. I'm up following the sound of the rings. It's coming from the living room. But where's the bloody phone? There. It's peeking out from between the sofa cushions. I sweep it up. Hello? You called? Gideon? No names. I saw the news. I'm expecting Gideon to express sorrow over Dion's death, but there's no response. Are you there? Yes. I saw something. Silence again. Did you hear what I said? Damn it, I can hear him breathing. Be out front in 30 minutes. Make it the newsstand on the corner of 4th and Broadway. The line goes dead. Now to sneak out without alerting my first floor guardian angel. The last thing I need is to explain to Jules where I'm going at this hour. It's 2:10 a.m. when I make my way down the steps and slip out as quietly as I can, locking the door behind me. I trot to the newsstand. The Lexus is waiting. Norman's driving. Jason's riding shotgun. Good morning, Mr. Russell. Nothing much good about it, Norman. No, nothing. Nothing at all. Dogshit villains have silenced Mr. Dion. May their black hearts rot in hell. I slip into the back seat. Jason passes me the black hood. Not again. I'm afraid so, sir. As soon as the hood is on, Norman speeds off. For the next 20 minutes, not a word passes between us. We don't stop until we reach our destination. Once inside, Norman sits me down in my favorite chair and removes the hood. Gideon is still across from me, looking drawn and washed out. I'm sorry about Commissioner Dion. He leaves behind his wife, daughter, and 2 grandchildren. After the Paris attack, why didn't he go into hiding for a few days? Unable to get a direct flight to Boston, he flew from Marseille to New York, planning to catch a connection to Logan Airport. Instead, he insisted on staying in New York and asked us to arrange that rally in Central Park. We had to scramble to make it happen. I saw 2 men fleeing with the crowd and Chernov's attack dogs, Heinz and Auger. You know this? I saw the same footage you did, Billy. Jesus, it was so brief I almost missed it. You can be certain the video was taken by a government official. They wanted it out there for the whole world to see, to send a message to anyone who dared challenge Marseille authority. They must not have seen what we saw before releasing the video. No one will ever accuse Marseille of being smart, Billy. Just vicious. So what happens now? Nothing changes. Henry will unveil the Black Swan event to the world as planned. How? To play it safe. Henry taped his message before leaving. I didn't know he had until a few hours ago. One of his aides delivered it to me. Now it's our job to broadcast it to the world. Now, how are you going to pull that off? You will know soon enough. You still don't trust me. It's not a question of trust, Billy. It's simply a precaution. If you know nothing, they can't get anything out of you. This taped speech of Henry's better be bulletproof. I assure you, Billy, it is. Then you know what's on it. I do. Gideon's on his feet. From his breast pocket, he takes out one of his fat cigars and lights it. Takes a draw and blows smoke circles. Many, many years ago, Billy, back in the early 90s, the United States Senate chaplain spoke these insightful words. We now demand freedom without restraint, rights without responsibility, choice without consequences, leisure without pain. In our narcissistic, hedonistic, masochistic values, preoccupation, we've allowed ourselves to become dominated by lust, avarice, greed, and violence. Society failed to heed the chaplain's words. Now, all these years later, here we are under the thumb of the Marseille mob of impassionate, money-grubbing thieves. In their never-ending quest for more power and wealth, we, Volte-Face, have united the masses to take action against them. And you, Billy, will have a front row seat. You seem cocksure you'll be able to pull this off. From across the globe, people will come together as one for the good of all. How do you keep something like that quiet? Surely Marseille knows something's up. It may be the best kept secret in the history of all humanity. You seem sure of yourself, Gideon. The wheels of freedom are in full motion and will not be denied. And when is this uprising happening? Gideon takes a drag on his cigar and looks away. Well, soon, Billy, soon. By your presence here, I assume you are with us? Yes, I am. Excellent. I might know someone who may want to join us. Might that be Christopher Henley? Jeez, Gideon, is there anything you don't know? Do you trust Mr. Henley? We became close on the trip back. Yeah, I trust him. Have you spoken to him about this matter? I had no reason until now. Very well, Billy. Proceed with caution. I will be in touch with further instructions. Good night, Billy. Wait. Yes? What is it? This dissident group called Apostolic Channel. Who are they? He looks away, followed by a long pause. It's a simple enough question, Gideon. Apostolic Channel is a diversion that gives Voltiface cover. So far, it has worked. So far as we know. Okay. I will leave you now. Good night, Billy. Whoa, hold on, big guy. Yes? You know everything about me. I know nothing about you. I'd like to know who I'm putting life and limb on the line for. For Henry Dion. For the people of the world. For Billy Russell's peace of mind, answer my question. Gideon pops to his feet, takes a drag of the cigar, and walks off. I will be in touch soon. Thank you for coming. Trust, Gideon. Remember, trust. He stops and sucks on that damn cigar again before turning to me. You are persistent. That I am. He pulls another long drag on the cigar, followed by a swirling cloud of white smoke. I first met Henry Dion at the United Nations Legal Symposium in New York. I was chief solicitor to the British ambassador, and Henry was a prominent Boston attorney. After he became a U.S. senator, we met at several social events. Henry and I hit it off, and our friendship grew. When he gained a seat on the World Council, he offered me the position of Chief of Staff. I accepted. That's the long and short of it. Your name, Gideon. What is it? Is this really necessary, Billy? For me it is. All right. It's Oliver Neville. Okay, this whole time I thought this guy was French. He's bloody British. There's no French person with the name Oliver that I've ever met. Okay, well that changes a lot of things. And with that, Oliver Neville, the proper English gentleman, scanters off in a cloud of white cigar smoke. Norman at my side, handing me the hood. We'll take you home now, Mr. Russell. The hood again? Hopefully for the last time, sir. During the drive back, I try engaging Norman and Jason in conversation to see if I can learn more, but all I get is an occasional grunt. Beyond that, nothing. It's 6:28 a.m. by the time I get dropped off at the newsstand. If I return to the apartment, Jules might be up and grill me to no end. The newsstand is open. I grab a newspaper and Sully pours me a cup of black coffee. Arriving at the office at 7, I'm surprised to find Jade at her desk. What are you doing here so early, Jade? Couldn't sleep. Oh, there's an ad break, by the way. Or at least, supposed ad break. I don't actually know if it's true, because Twitch has been lying to me. If you're not subbed... Super? You're not allowed to chat until you're done with the puzzle. This is what I get for giving you crap in your stream. I understand. Two-way street. Oh, Mitchell, you're in on it too? Cool. Awesome. Is there anyone I can trust in here? Really? Come on now. Well, just in case there are ads, I won't read anything until they lie to me and say it's over. Just on the off chance. You never know. If you could actually see my face really well right now, you'd see that I'm giving you a face. I'm staring at you. But, you might not be able to tell. "18 seconds. Supposedly. You're teeny? I know. I don't feel too great, so I just thought I'd, you know, make myself really small so that way you can't see how bad I look. Thankfully, it hasn't really affected my voice yet, because that really isn't great when that happens. Okay, so supposedly the ads are done. So we'll get back to it. Have you heard the news about Henry Dion? Just before I left my apartment. Tragic, Billy. Tragic. They'll stop at nothing against anyone who dares to speak out against them. I want to take her into my confidence about Gideon, as well as what I saw on that video footage, but I hesitate to involve her. On the other hand, if she saw the footage, she may have seen what I saw and played it cool. The world is spinning faster, at a faster rate than I can catch up. She takes my hand and cradles it in hers. The good guys will win. You'll see, Billy. Are we the good guys, Jade? She smiles warmly. Damn right, Buckaroo. Damn right. Bending to her, I kiss her lightly. Look, Jade. Too much is happening all at once. I'm wound tighter than a drum. I need time to figure out a few things. Tell Wilson I called in with a touch of food poisoning and I'm spending the day bent over the commode. You're not planning anything, are you, Billy? I told you, I won't leave without you. You stay, I stay. Go home, do whatever, and put the rest out of your mind. Easier said than done, Jade. Tomorrow night, 7, I'll bring Chinese this time. Haven't had any Chinese food in 17 years. Got it. Buckaroo, haven't heard that in forever. Oh yeah, this character, Jade, she really likes to call him Buckaroo. It's a thing. Short break in the story. I'm strolling along Broadway, one foot in front of the other, at a snail's pace, in no hurry to return to my apartment. At least Henley is there now. I have someone to talk to who shared cold sleeping quarters, dust swirling, long, lung-destroying mine shafts, bad food, brutal guards, and all the rest of the crap that went with subterranean life on Europa. When I reach the house, I stand and stare at the building for a few seconds. I'm not ready to go in, so I keep walking. A block down, I spot Zen and May. We exchange glances and Zen nods. I would like to speak with them, to learn more about the personal circumstances that put them here on the streets. There's other streetwalkers in the area. Zen and May slink away, not wanting to be seen talking to a cop. Can't blame them. After walking aimlessly for almost an hour, I head back to the house. At noon, I open a can of Chef Boyardee's SpaghettiOs with little meatballs that were part of my welcome package. I eat it cold right out of the can. Why? Why would you do that? That is not okay. Cold right out of the can, as I used to as a kid, always over my mother's stern objections. Would have been my objections too. Following my gourmet lunch, I turn on the computer. In my stuff file, I document my meeting with Gideon, which is also probably a bad idea. Thumb Gaming, my dude. How's Valorant? I'm assuming you're still playing Valorant. Yep. Alright. At least microwave it. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Yuck. I document my meeting with Gideon. I just hope the hell he can deliver what he's promising. To get most of the world's population on the same page at the same time requires a minor miracle. I don't believe in miracles. Next, I add the notes of my time on Europa. Today, it's about Quasi and the guards, trained guerrillas on Colonel Mac's short leash, men without morals who place little or no value on human life. Before I know it, it was 5:45. I hear a door close in the hall. Chris must be home. I want to rush over and fill him in about my meeting with Gideon, aka Oliver Neville, and his volte-face movement. On the other hand, Chris might place a greater value on his newfound freedom, such as it is, and tell me to leave him out of it until the day comes when Wilson and Colonel orders him to do what is inhumane, immoral, and every other word in the English lexicon that describes an executioner. Screw it. I have to trust that Chris trusts me. He has a stake in this too, whether he realizes it yet or not. There's only one way to find out. I'll go over there, and as Hank once said to me, put our cards face up. I'll tell him all that's going on and let him make his own decision. When I knock on his door, he answers in his underwear. Hey, Billy. Jade said you weren't feeling well. Can you come over? No, not if you're sick, man. I'm not. Then what? Put your pants on and I'll explain. I'll leave my door ajar. I return to my place and wait. 5 minutes later, Chris waltzes in wearing his new clothes, a dark blue t-shirt and blue jeans. What do you think? I never saw you looking better, my man. Want a beer? Yeah, sure, Billy. Love one. Grabbing 2 cold ones left from Jade's visit, we settle on the sofa. Take it slow and easy, Billy. Don't hit him over the head with this. You know, I think often of poor Leon. It was a horrible way to go. Yeah, it was. Every time I went to the John, I wondered if his body was still in that closet. Same here, Billy. He didn't want to call me over to talk about Leon. Alright, to the point. Now that you know what's going on at 513, where's your head at? If I had known, I would never have gotten on that plane to come here. Having said that, I'm a free man with my own apartment, a salary. I walk the streets freely and... Chris, we are anything but free men. There was a reason we were chosen to do what they ask of us. And your theory would be, first, tell me what got you a reserved bunk on Europa. Why'd you need to know that, Billy? It'll all become clear. You're turning out to be a pain in the ass, Russell. Yeah, I hear that a lot. Now tell me why you were sent to Europa and I'll tell you my story. He shoots me a grim look. He's pissed that I even asked. You need to trust me on this one, Chris. Alright, goddammit, if you must know. I was a Marine sniper. Well, that accounts for that rifle tattoo on your arm. Yeah. What's that in your shirt pocket? Cigarettes? Toss me one. I've never seen you smoke, Chris. You gonna preach or toss me one? I pass him a cigarette and lighter, and he lights up, takes a long drag and exhales smoke slowly. We were in Syria trying to help those people keep the peace after their government was overthrown. I took down 2 Libyan dudes who weren't on the official kill list. You shot them by accident? Billy, I never took anyone out by accident. Well, then what? Me and Brad Stone, my spotter, were on a small hill overlooking the Syrian town of Suwaida, just north of the Jordanian border. Jamal Hassan, a known maker of IEDs, was our target. We had tracked him to one of the 4 houses on an isolated street at the southern end of the village. We see 2 screaming teenage girls being dragged out to the nearest house by 2 men, followed by the girls' mother and father. We recognize the 2 men right off. Karam Saman and Mahdi Yusuf. Paid informants for our side, or so we thought. Yusuf shouted something at the father, then he and Saman executed the 4 of them right there in the street. Oh, Jesus. Brad and I were enraged. With his high-powered rifle-mounted scope, he provided me with the range. I didn't hesitate for a second. I dropped Saman and Yusuf each with a shot to the head. Chris turns away and washes a hand over his face. Turns out Saman and Yusuf were taking money from both sides. The brass knew it, but for whatever reason, that information was never shared with us on the ground. I was accused of going rogue and taking down 2 civilians without authority. To save his ass, that son of a bitch Brad Stone testified against me. And he tried to stop me. Was a lie. He didn't. I was court-martialed and sent to Europa. I'm sorry, Chris. Not near as sorry as I am, pal. Okay. Your turn. I proceeded to give up the details of what I did in that closet and why. When I finish, I round up the 2 remaining beers and hand him one. You better have another. There's more. I fill him in on all that Jules shared with me, beginning with the Pakistan-India episode, the fear that followed, the creation of a world government, everything I had learned about the upside-down world we found ourselves trapped in, capping it off with Chernov's erratic behavior and his execution of Alvira and his top gun, Rubio. You executed those 2 Afghanis for the same reason I executed my wife's murderer. We both served up justice when we believed the system wouldn't or couldn't. And we both paid dearly for it, Billy. Yeah, we did, Chris. What I have in mind next could go either way, but here goes nothing. You are aware of a man by the name of Henry Dion was assassinated, right, in Central Park yesterday? It was all over the news this morning. He was some big shot in the government, wasn't he? An outspoken member of the World Council who made the mistake of openly challenging the Marseille regime policies. It's what happens to anyone who crosses the line against Marseille. That video they ran on the news, you saw it? Yeah. I saw something that could crack that wide open. Like what? Gustav Heinz and Victor Auger were in the crowd. What? The 2 guys I haven't met yet? Yeah. I roll out the details of Gustav and Auger's suspected extracurricular activities. Chris's expression changes to disbelief. They take their orders not from Wilson, but Colonel Andrei Chernov, who reports directly to Marseille. Every time they're off on an assignment for Chernov, someone who had the balls to speak out against Marseille dies. That video footage confirms what Hank told me told me he suspected. Holy shit, man. Now for Chapter 2. There's an underground movement planning to overthrow the world government and... What? And Dion is, or was, the force behind it. And you know this how, Billy? I've met twice with the man running the show for Dion. Why in the hell would you do that, Billy? Initially, I didn't. At least, not voluntarily. They chose me. To do what? Well, if you let me finish, it'll all become clear. First, they knew everything about me, Europa and all the rest. They know everything about you, too. How? I don't know how they get their information, but they do. Anyway, I told them to screw off, that I wasn't interested. But that changed when I saw that video. Wait a minute, back up. Who are these people? The movement's called Voltaface and... Volta what? Voltaface. Have you lost your friggin' marbles, Billy? We finally escaped the Europa iceberg and you want to jump into the fire. Why the hell would you do that? Because I have nothing to lose. If this movement is successful, I'm a free man and so are you. I was hoping you'd sign on too. Me? To do what? I'm trying to explain, Chris. Let me educate you, Billy. When the alarm sounds, first come bravado, then fear, followed by a need for self-preservation. Then no one shows up. And those of us who volunteered are left standing there, wondering where are the others. Besides, the government controls the military, which ends the planned revolution. What is it you called this group? Voltaface. It means change in French. I've heard enough. Chris sets his beer on the coffee table, pops to his feet, and heads for the door. Where are you going? As far away from this as I can get, pal. Get a good night's sleep, Billy. You'll come to your senses in the morning. He reached the door just as my phone rang. Answer your phone, Billy boy. And then he leaves. I pick up the phone and listen. 556? It's Norman's voice. Yes? Day after tomorrow, 4 a.m. at the newsstand. I'll be there along with my other gentleman I spoke of. Good night. The line goes dead. Tossing the phone on the sofa, determined to get Chris involved, I march across the hall to his door. It's slightly ajar. Chris? You gonna talk to me through the door or come in? I push the door open, but don't enter. Chris is sitting in a chair, sipping bourbon and looking quite pissed. I'm sorry, Chris. I'm not trying to talk you into anything. You could have fooled me. That call was to let me know it's going down the day after tomorrow. I told them you might be with me. You were that sure of me. If you don't want any part of this, Chris, say so and I'll be gone. Oh, God damn you, Billy Russell. Yes. God damn me, Chris Henley. Look. Do what you think is right for you. You never told me what they're asking you to do. I explained the role I agreed to play, at least as much as I know. Chris blows a hard breath. He's thinking. I suppose if I let you go alone, you'll get yourself killed. Is that your way of telling me you're in? Grim-faced, Chris's head bobs up and down. I'm proud of you, Brother Henley. Yeah, that's me. Patriotic Brother Henley. Don't stand there, come in and have a drink. On the other hand, maybe we should take that shepherd's advice when he saw the storm rolling in. Or maybe not. Get your ass in here before I change my mind. Oh boy. That's the end of chapter 24. So, in a split second, Billy has changed his mind entirely and has now joined forces with this Voltaface. force a hydrate, I will absolutely do that. Some of these voices can get pretty rough. We're on chapter 25. There's only 29 chapters in the book. So, we're getting close. We are getting close. Cheers, Mitchell. Delicious. Quite soothing on the throat as well. Cheers indeed. It didn't take much convincing for Mr. Henley to join. A bit odd, but yet not. I think if Chris had been first, and him trying to convince Billy, I think the outcome might have been the same. And I think that just because of the bond between the two of them. They've come from this really terrible place, desperate to be connected to each other. And yeah, you're right, Mitchell. Then there's this, former military background, and he's used to the action. He's got an opportunity to get back to action, but I think more than that, he's got an opportunity to look out for the person to his right. Stunt Papa can attest to this, but in the military, you're taught to take care of the person to your left and the person to your right. And if everybody does that, everyone's taking care of each other. And I think as much as the action part is there, I think for him, it's this, almost this code of ethics to take care of the person to his left. Brother's keeper. Yep, exactly. So, yeah, I definitely think that's part of it. 100%, even if I don't like you. Does that mean you take care of me too? But yeah, it's pretty cool to see how this is going down. And I'm gonna make my camera a little bigger. Here I come. Here I come. Here I come. There we go. I would make sure you get your English breakfast milk. I mean, what more can I ask for? That's amazing. I actually did run out of my 2%. I'm using skim milk right now. Can you believe it? Skimmed? Ugh. What kind of a world am I living in? First world problems. Alright, let me see how long chapter 25 is. See if we can squeeze it in. 238. Oh yeah, we're good. We're totally good. Wow, 2% for life. Yeah, skim milk? What are you, some kind of peasant? My god, man. There's the face that launched 1,000 books. Yeah, right. 1,000, not quite. Only from a bag. Super Stunt, I give you props. You are doing well on the puzzle. It's a tricky one. 600 pieces, so congrats. All right, we're going to get chapter 25 in here, and then don't forget we'll be in Discord for 10 Eastern, 9 Central to continue reading Fourth Wing, which I'm very excited about. So, exclamation fourth, like the number, if you're not in the Discord and you want to listen in. We'll be in the event chat. Chapter 25. There but for the grace of God. As I'm preparing to leave the house Tuesday morning, my cell rings. It's Jimmy Olivery, my parents' attorney. With all that's happened, I had completely forgotten about him. He's happy to hear I'm back safe and sound after all these years, then apologizes. Seems my message fell through the cracks and he just came across it. Yes, he drew up my parents' will and I am the sole beneficiary. As soon as the estate makes it through final probate, the assets will be turned over to me. I tell him I don't want any material stuff. The memories would be too painful. He agrees to have his office handle the liquidation of the assets and turn the proceeds over to me. For now, I think I'll just keep this news to myself. There's a small break in the story. Why do I feel like that liquidation is going to be quite handy for the end of this story? Chris and I walk to the office together, stopping on the way for a cup of coffee at Sully's. Chris is taken aback by the number of homeless walking about aimlessly. It wasn't near this bad yesterday. It's worse at the tent cities, Chris. You won't believe the conditions people are forced to endure. When we arrive at the office, Gustav and Victor are still missing in action. Jade's nowhere to be seen. Hank, where's Jade? Powdering her lovely nose. Wilson comes out of his hole long enough to instruct Hank and me to take Chris out for a taste of the streets. Amlas. How you doing? Everyone loves a good liquidation, right? Mitchell? Are we talking about the same thing? He turns around and goes back to his cave without ever so much as a good morning. Ah, there she is. Jade's back. Good morning. We're about to take Chris out for a joyride through the streets of paradise. The office is all yours. I'll do my best not to burn it down, Billy. Be careful out there. Maybe. Once out on the street, Chris is shocked at what he sees. Hank, how do these people survive? Many of them don't, Chris. Many who do are hooked on cheap drugs, which leads to petty crime, increased violence, or worse, death. If the government believes we drug units ours are gonna stop the madness, they're smoking funny cigarettes. There's no solution as long as the thugs in Marseille stay in power. It'll take a worldwide uprising to bring those lying, cheating bastards to their knees before we can address the problem, because the problem is them. Chris shoots me a knowing look. Hank, let's take Chris by Moakley Park. When we arrive, Chris stares in disbelief. My God. This is just one of the several encampments. Hank, I could have gone all day without seeing this. It's our reality, Chris. Get used to it. At 11:45, we end up at Maggie's for lunch. The insult routine between her and Hank amuses Chris. She seems to enjoy the jabbing, Hank. Jabbing, Hank. I can't tell who's talking. That she does, Chris, and she dishes it out pretty well, too. By 5:45, after covering most of the South End without incident, we're back in the office. I smile my usual flirting smile. Where's the troops, Jade? Gustav and Victor are back. They're down the hall, huddled with Boris and Ivan, getting an update on Chernov. Wilson's with them. What's good with Colonel? Still missing in action, is all I know, Billy. You guys should call it a day, too. Hank is on his feet, heading to the door. Billy, Chris, you guys want a lift? I'll walk, Hank. Chris? Thanks. I'll walk with Billy. As we reach the door, Jade stops me. Hey, almost forgot. The lieutenant left a note in your in-basket. Chris, I'll meet you downstairs. In my in-basket is an envelope with my name scribbled on it. Inside, I find a short, handwritten note from Wilson. He wants to meet with me first thing in the morning. Jade, do you know what this is about? What is it? Wilson wants to meet with me in the morning. No, I have no idea, Billy. Crumpling the note, I toss it to the basket next to Gusov's desk and miss. Scooping it up, I drop it in the basket when I notice one word in the middle of Gustav's computer screen. Email. I glance over to Jade. She's busy typing. With my left hand, I hit the spacebar and up comes his email inbox. The most recent message contains 2 words in all caps. Neville, ASAP. The return address is listed as WG. Has to be world government. I check his outgoing emails. His reply is 2 words. On it. Closing the screen, I look at Jade. She's still typing. Act casual, Billy. Make a lame joke and then get out of here fast. Hey, you need a bucket of water? What? You're gonna set that keyboard on fire. She stops typing and swivels at me. Very funny. I'll see you later for Chinese. I'm running on 2 cylinders. How about a rain check? You're not coming down with something, are you? I don't know. I just feel punk. Come here. She places a hand on my forehead. No fever. Go home and get some rest. Yes, Mother. I'm out the door, rushing down the stairs 2 at a time. Chris is waiting on the sidewalk. Come on, we need to get to the house. What's the rush? Someone's going to die. Billy, what are you talking about? I'll explain when we get to the house. Come on. As soon as we're in the door at my place, Chris is all over me. Now will you tell me who is going to die? In a minute, Chris. I find Oliver's number and dial it. Who are you calling? Shh, Chris, wait. 4 rings later, someone answers. It's Norman. This is 556. Yes. Where is the man? He's not available at the moment. Where is he? Home, resting. I'm covering his calls. Call him now. Tell him to turn off his lights, pull the shades, and lock the doors. There's no response. Norman? Why would he do that? Because he's in danger. What sort of danger? Norman, for God's sake, stop talking, get in your damn car and pick me up right after you call the man. The damn fool doesn't answer. Did you hear what the hell I said? What sort of danger is he in? Damn you, man, can you... You can keep asking questions or you can get to his place ASAP. What's it gonna be? Okay, but it'll take me 20 minutes to get to you. Call the man first, then pick me up at the newsstand. I hang up and bark at Chris. Get your gun. Not until you tell me what the hell is going on. I quickly fill him in on the email I found on Gustav's computer. It can only mean one thing. They're gonna take out Oliver Neville. Who is Oliver Neville? I'll explain on the way. Get your gun and let's get to the newsstand. Life-size danger. Dun, dun, dun. By the time we get to the closed newsstand, it's dark and the temperature has dropped several degrees. The note can only mean one thing. Marseille knows something's about to happen and they know it's Oliver Neville leading the charge. Norman arrives none too soon. We're freezing our asses off out here. I slip into the front seat. Chris is in the back. Norman, Chris Hensley. Chris, Norman. I don't know Norman's last name. It's Wagner. Nice to meet you, Chris. Same here, Norman. Did you contact the man? I called, but he failed to pick up, Billy. Damn it, damn it. How long to get to Oliver's place? He resides in Beacon Hill. It'll take 30 minutes. Drive, Norman, drive. As Norman navigates traffic, I fill him in on what I found on Gustav's computer. Dear God, no. Dear God, yes, Norman. Norman makes it to Beacon Street in 20 minutes flat, pulling up short of a high-rise condominium, identifying by a black plaque with gold letters as Letterman Tower. Mr. Neville resides on the 7th floor. There's a doorman in the lobby 24/7. Do they know you? Yes, I'm in and out regularly. Let's go. We enter the lobby. It's empty except for the doorman, who greets Norman with a hesitant smile. Good evening, Mr. Wagner. Hi, Walter. Is everything okay, sir? Why do you ask? 2 policemen are up with Mr. Neville. Oh, damn it, Gustav and Victor are already here. They said it was an official matter and insisted on going up to his apartment unannounced. Is there a problem, Mr. Wagner? Misunderstanding. These officers are here to straighten it out. Can I see their identification, please? Chris and I reveal our belt-mounted badges. Thank you. I'll call up and let Mr. Neville know you're on the way up. That's not necessary. I'll escort them up, Walter. Well, okay, if you say so, Mr. Wagner. Thank you, Walter. Norman leads us down the marble floor hallway, then left to the 2 elevators. One to our right, one to our left. The one on the right stops at each apartment on the east side. The other on the west, Mr. Neville's, is on the west side. Maybe we should use the service elevator in the garage. That will take us to the back entrance to Mr. Neville's apartment. We could have driven in, Norman. Sorry, Billy, I should have thought of that. Alright, never mind, let's go. Norman leads the way to a door at the far end of the hallway that leads to the ground floor parking garage. Around the corner to the right is the west side service elevator. Norman punches in a 4-digit code. The doors open and we load in. Norm taps 007 for the 7th floor, and we're on the move. 15 seconds later, we arrive, and the doors open to a small lobby. Norman points forward and whispers, Mr. Neville's apartment is through that door. He approaches the door. I reach for his arm. Wait. Placing an ear to the door, I listen. I hear voices, but they're muffled and I can't make out what's being said. Norman points to a keypad mounted on the wall to the left of the door and whispers, I have the code, Billy. Do it. He punches in a 4-digit code. The door lock slides open. Let's hope they didn't hear that. Chris and I take out our weapons. Norman, do you have a weapon? He pulls back his coat, revealing a stainless steel Walther PPK 380 tucked in his belt. Okay. Open the door. Slowly, Norman slides the door open about halfway. In the distance, we hear Victor's voice. Our patience is running thin, Mr. Neville. I told you 6 times. I have no idea why you are here or what you're talking about. Save yourself the pain of having to do this the hard way. This time it's Gustav talking. There's no answer from Oliver. Then comes the unmistakable sound of Oliver being slapped. Norman bolts forward. I grab his arm. Wait, where are they? Sounds like they're in the living room straight ahead at the far end of the apartment. Gustav's talking again. It would pain me to ruin this beautiful Persian rug with your blood, Mr. Neville. We can avoid that if you cooperate. There's no answer from Oliver. He's slapped again. He groans. With our weapons raised, we move cautiously down a darkened hall past 2 bedrooms, one to the left and one to the right. We enter the kitchen and then the dining room. Norman stops us and points forward. Ever so slowly, we advance until the living room comes into view. Gustav and Victor's backs are to us. Oliver's sitting in a chair facing us with his hands secured behind his back. He spots us and his eyes widen. Damn it, don't give us away, Oliver. Don't give us away, Oliver. I raise my weapon to eye level and move quickly toward them. Either of you even twitches, you're a dead man. Gustav and Victor spin around to find 3 guns pointed at them. Russell, what the hell are you doing here? Making sure you don't screw up the world more than you already have. Oliver, are you okay? Yes, except these handcuffs are cutting into my wrists. We'll take care of that. Gustav and Victor, place your weapons on the floor and kick them at me. Do it slowly, and do it now. Gustav glances sideways at Victor and nods. They remove their weapons, drop them to the floor, and kick them toward me. Which one of you clowns has the key to the handcuffs? Gustav nods. Reach in your pocket and hand it to Norman. Do it slowly. Gustav hands the key to Norman, who quickly frees Oliver. Norman, cuff Gustav. Chris, do the same to Victor. Oliver pops to his feet and moves to my side. Billy, how in God's creation did you know? German sloppiness. In his haste to get here, Mr. Hines left his computer open to his email. The most recent message said, Neville ASAP. That could only mean one thing. Victor's face goes pale. His head whips to Gustav. De quoi parle-t-il? Oliver, do you speak French? Mr. Auger seems quite upset with Mr. Hines. And, well, he should be, Chris. Watch them. I reach down to pick up their weapons. Growling like a mad dog, Gustav thrusts his body towards me. I hit the left side of his head with the barrel of my gun. He yelps and goes down, blood seeping from his cheek. Jesus, Hines, you're more stupid than I could give you credit for. The cleansing is well underway, Russell, and nothing you or anyone else can do will stop it. The cleansing? Is that what we're calling it now? Whatever you're planning, Marseille will shut you down. He tosses his head back and laughs. Wir würden uns durchsetzen. Wir sahen de Meistertresse. Gustav said, We are the master race and we will prevail. Norman, you're full of surprises. My parents were German immigrants, Billy. They made sure I learned the language at an early age. Gustav, you and Victor drank too much of the Kool-Aid, spiked with propaganda. Oliver, call your doorman. Tell him all's well, that this was a misunderstanding and that we're leaving on the service elevator. What do we do with them, Billy? I'm working on that. Oliver, does this change your plans in any way? No. We go on as planned. Are you okay staying here alone? Yes, Billy. I'll be fine. Another short break in the story. As we ride the elevator to the garage, I'm arguing with myself as what to do with Hines and Auger. Listen to your gut, Billy boy. You know what you have to do. So get on with it and get it done. Norman, where's the nearest body of water? The Charles River bordering Letterman Park a couple of blocks from here. Letterman Park it is. Get the car. Meet us here in the garage. We'll have to leave the car in the Vesta garage across the street from the park. It's pedestrians only. Better yet, Norm. What are you thinking, Billy? Nothing good, Chris. Nothing good. When Norman arrives with the car, I place Victor in the front seat and Gustav between Chris and me in the back. Chris's gun is pointed at Gustav's head, mine at Victor's. Not a word is spoken as Norm drives to the nearby Vesta garage. Then we're off on foot, crossing the street to Letterman Park. We get a break, and there's not a soul in sight at this hour. Norman, is there a boat ramp? Down by the field of field. Take us there. Billy, what the hell are we doing? Reinstating the rule of law, Chris. Kind of. Huh? It's a 5-minute walk to the... To the what? Oh, 5-minute walk down the Esplanade? I've never seen it worded that way. To the boat ramp, where we cross over the short walkway to the break wall. Norman set them on their knees on the edge. Billy, think this through. Let's not do something we'll regret. I've done all the thinking and regretting I'm going to, Chris. Norman, down on their knees. Chris grabs my arm. For Christ's sake, Billy, think this through. We do this, and we're no better than they are. Gustav tosses his head back and laughs. Yeah, Billy, baby, think this through. Chris, do you think it through when you took those guys out? That was different. No, it wasn't. These two traveled the world assassinating people who dared to speak out against an evil empire. Let's just say the jury sentenced these two to the same fate. Du bist ein totaler Idiot, Russell. Norman, Mr. Hines called you a fool, said you have no insight into human stupidity. Gustav laughs again and spits at my feet. Nicht all Männer sein gleich, Gerstefan, it was das Duke noch Lindenmast. Yeah, German stuff. If I interpreted correctly, Billy, he said, you have yet to learn that all men are not created equal. I lean close to Gustav. And therein, Mr. Hine, lies the reason we must bring down the government, starting here and now. The color of a man's skin is not the measure of a man. The amount of money a man makes is not the measure of a man, nor is the power he might hold over others. What a shame you don't understand that. Gustav sneers. What a shame you don't understand how this world works, Billy. Or should I call you Mr. Bleeding Heart Boy Scout? I understand it all too well, Gustav. I pity you because you don't. Enough chit-chat. Let's get on with the main event. I place my weapon on the back of Gustav's head. Norman grabs my arm. Wait, Billy. Norman places his gun against the back of Gustav's head and squeezes the trigger. Gustav's skull explodes and he topples forward into the icy water of the St. Charles River. Norman steps behind Victor and pulls the trigger again. The impact drives Victor forward into the water next to Gustav's floating body. Norman breathes out a hard breath. That was for Oliver Neville. And that was the end of chapter 25. Oh boy. The revolution has begun. Norman is cold-blooded? Maybe. So that puts us at page 249, chapter 26. I will drink. I will. So next time when we meet on Sunday, we will finish this book. And then Thursday next week, we start this one, The Shades of Orthia. And I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be great. That was an intense chapter indeed. I agree, 100%. And just in time too, because in 9 minutes, give or take, I will be in Discord reading Fourth Wing, which I'm also very excited about. Right. So with that in mind, let's go raid a friend, shall we? Who do we have on? We raided that violin chick last time, who is the writer of this book. 9 minutes, very specific. Well, I was looking down at the clock, so yes. It's been great being able to read to you guys, though. It really has, because that's really helped with my mood. And I know there's a direct correlation between mood and not feeling great. When your body says you're not great, your mind feels it too. And if I can make my mind feel better, I think that has an impact on the body as well. So, wait, TVC wrote the book we're reading now? No. She wrote this one, which is what we're going to next. But we raided her last time. So this time we're going to raid somebody else. I just need to figure out who and quickly. There's so many people online right now. So many. Sheesh. Oh. I know who we're going to raid. Yes. That's what I thought. I was confused for a second. Yeah, no worries. Come join me in raiding After Hours Bruelition, will you? Helps if I type it correctly, though. There we go. That's better. Feel free to copy the raid message. Thank you for hanging out with me tonight. I really, really, really appreciate it. I can't wait to see how this book ends. Definitely seems like it's going to end with a bang. So, yeah. If I don't see you between now and then, have yourself a fantastic night. Please take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and have yourselves a fantastic night.
They gave it a